Let's start with the basics. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These nations united to challenge a global system dominated by the West, especially institutions like the World Bank and IMF. They wanted a stronger voice and a seat at the table where global decisions are made. The idea began in 2001, coined by economist Jim O'Neill, who saw the rapid rise of these economies. By 2009, the countries began meeting formally, and in 2010, South Africa joined, turning BRIC into BRICS. BRICS became more than an economic concept. It was now a political alliance aiming to reshape the global order. Their mission: Media Group, New Development Bank Headquarters, BRICS Financial Meeting, BRICS leaders discussing economic alternatives at its stock at distribute_equally, create alternatives to Western-led financial systems, boost trade among themselves, and fund infrastructure in developing nations without Western conditions. Initially, many in the West dismissed BRICS as a loose coalition with competing interests, but that perception is changing fast. Even before its recent expansion, BRICS represented over 40% of the world's population. Their economies were growing faster than many Western nations. They positioned themselves as the voice of the global South, arguing that global rules favored the rich. BRICS was their attempt to rewrite those rules for a fairer world. Today, BRICS is no longer just a talking shop. It's a powerful bloc with ambitions to change how the world works. The group's influence is growing, and so is its challenge to the established order. The question is, how far can they go? 2024 marked a turning point for BRICS. 4 new members, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE, joined, signaling a major expansion. Iran's inclusion, despite Western sanctions, sent a clear message of defiance. The UAE brought economic heft as a major oil producer and financial hub. Later, BRICS introduced partner countries and invited 10 more nations, with Indonesia soon joining as a full member. Suddenly, BRICS was a sprawling network spanning Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, with dozens more interested. The expanded group now represents about 45% of the world's population, nearly half of humanity. Economically, it accounts for over 35% of global GDP, adjusted for purchasing power. Critically, BRICS now controls over 30% of global oil production, with Saudi Arabia's membership pending. This shift accelerates the move away from a US-led world. The rise of a multipolar world is here, with BRICS as a powerful new pole. It's now a clear counterweight to the G7. The group's ambitions go beyond economics. They're about who sets the rules for the 21st century. BRICS is no longer just a club of emerging economies, it's a force reshaping global power. The world is watching and reacting. The balance of power is shifting before our eyes. Now, imagine this. 2 European Union countries are in talks to join BRICS. This is no longer a hypothetical. Discussions are underway as of September 2025. The EU, long a pillar of the Western order, faces a potential crack in its unity. Why would EU members consider joining a bloc led by China and Russia? Frustration is growing in parts of Europe. Economic stagnation, energy crises, and doubts about the current global system. BRICS offers new partners, markets, and energy security. This move would be a public declaration that the world has changed. The old East-West divide is blurring. If EU members join, BRICS becomes a truly global institution, not just an anti-Western bloc. It would legitimize BRICS in a way nothing else could. The symbolism would be profound, a sign that shared Western values are giving way to national interests. The world order is shifting, and Europe is at a crossroads. The implications are enormous. For a European country, joining BRICS is a bold move with big rewards. Economically, it means access to massive markets in China and India, and new investment opportunities. For nations facing slow growth and high unemployment, this is a powerful incentive. Energy security is another draw. BRICS includes major oil and gas producers like Russia, Iran, and the UAE. Membership could mean stable, long-term energy deals, possibly in local currencies, reducing exposure to dollar volatility. It's also about having a bigger say in world affairs. Smaller EU countries often feel sidelined by larger powers in Brussels and Washington. BRICS promises a more equal platform, where every member has a voice. Strategic autonomy is the final lure, freedom to make independent foreign policy choices. Joining BRICS doesn't mean leaving the West, but building a bridge to the East. It's a balancing act. Maintain ties with the US and NATO while forging new partnerships. For Europe, it's about flexibility and reducing dependence on any single ally. The appeal is clear: more opportunity, more security, more influence. The risks? Only time will tell. BRICS isn't just talk, it's building its own financial system. The New Development Bank, NDB, launched in 2015, funds infrastructure and development without Western political strings. The NDB has already approved billions in loans, often in local currencies, shielding borrowers from dollar swings. Alongside the bank, BRICS created the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, a $100 billion emergency fund for members in crisis. This offers a safety net, an alternative to the IMF. The ultimate goal for some members, especially Russia and China, is de-dollarization. They want more trade in their own currencies, reducing vulnerability to US sanctions. Alternative payment systems are being developed to bypass the US financial system. For sanctioned countries like Iran, this is a lifeline. For potential European members, it's a way to trade with anyone, without risking US penalties. BRICS is rewriting the rules of global finance. The world's economic architecture is changing. The West is no longer the only game in town. BRICS is growing fast, but unity isn't guaranteed. The bloc is diverse. Democracies like India and Brazil sit alongside authoritarian states like China and Russia. Some members want to reform the global order, others want to overturn it. India and Brazil seek a bigger voice but value ties with the West. China and Russia push for a post-Western world, using BRICS to expand their influence. This creates tension: reform versus revolution. Policy debates, like a common BRICS currency, highlight these divisions. India resists, fearing Chinese dominance. New members bring their own agendas, complicating consensus. The UAE, for example, stresses multilateralism, not confrontation. As BRICS expands, internal disagreements will only grow. The group's diversity is both its strength and its biggest challenge. Can BRICS stay united as it grows? The West can no longer ignore BRICS. Once dismissed as divided, the bloc is now a real challenger to the global order. The US sees BRICS as a tool for China to expand its influence and undermine Western alliances. Washington is ramping up diplomatic pressure and considering economic countermeasures. Europe faces a dilemma: double down on its US alliance, or act as a bridge to BRICS. The choices made now will shape Europe's future role in the world. The unipolar era is over. BRICS is both a cause and a symptom of this shift. The world is moving toward multipolarity, but the outcome is uncertain. Will BRICS become a true alternative to Western leadership, or will internal divisions hold it back? The answers will define the next era of global politics. The game has changed, the rules are being rewritten, the world is watching to see what comes next.